Hi, welcome to the Rod and Cyndee podcast. My name is Rod Lyman. How you doing today? My little friend over here that hangs out with me and loves to do the podcast and kind of like that little friend of mine. Her name is
Cyndee Movie.
Hello, Cyndee Movie.
Hello.
We're here at Beyond today, and we are just having a blast today. It's been a really good day today. It's been warm out. I heard it was in the 90s.
That's what I think I heard as well. Oh, my gosh.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful out here at Beyond today. We're located at 11223 North 28th Drive. We're in Suite F101 in Phoenix, Arizona. We have a phone number, by the way. It is 602-374-4926. You know, we love doing these podcasts and everything else. That if anybody would love to sponsor one of our podcasts, just let us know at 602-374-4926. Or you can send an email to beyondtodayco@gmail.com. That's beyondtodayco@gmail.com. What a beautiful day, huh?
It's a gorgeous day in Phoenix.
You know, I heard we have a wonderful guest today.
That's what I heard, too. Little birdie told me.
Little birdie told you?
Yeah.
So what do you know about this guest that we have today?
Lots of beautiful things.
Like what? Name one thing about this guest we have today.
Well, she's a sweet little fairy, and he's an awesome doctor.
No. It's just one.
Oh, okay. He's an awesome doctor, but still she's a sweet fairy, his wife.
Awesome. Okay, that's a beautiful way to put it. What else do you know? You've been reading his book, right?
Yes.
What was his book called?
You Are Sensitive.
Oh my gosh. We're going to talk a little bit about that because he's also going to be doing a little show with me here at Beyond Today on April 28th from 1. Oh, it's April 29th, isn't it? Oh, sorry. April 29th from 1 to 4. We'll be doing this beautiful little get together now. We're going to talk a little bit about that too. Talk a little bit about who he is and where he come from and how we work together. And it's really cool. It sounds like he's mixing up some eggs right now, getting excited about mixing some eggs up or something. And let's introduce him. It's the wonderful, the great Dr. Emil Faithe.
Oh, you guys, welcome. Thanks for having me on the show.
We are so happy to have you on the show.
Aww.
Absolutely.
Sounds like fun. We're going to talk about some fun things today and talk about our event coming up, right, Rod?
Absolutely. That event's going to be so much fun. I just love doing events like that. You know, it's a blast.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to anyone listening to this podcast. Make sure you get your seat. They're going fast, and we'll talk more about what we'll be doing. But we're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of healing, a lot of energy exchange. It's going to be awesome.
Absolutely. So let's get to know you a little bit before we go any further than that. And lots of our listeners know who I am, but let's get to know you. Where are you from?
I am originally from Southern California, Orange County, near Disneyland. Grew up in that area in the 60s and 70s, and then spent a lot of time developing my skills and my practice in beautiful Albuquerque, New Mexico. Have you ever been? Albuquerque, New Mexico? Fun.
Oh my gosh, I love Albuquerque.
Many years there, and and here we are now in the Phoenix area. Glad to be back here. We did a visit back here back in 2003, 4, and 5, and 6, and came back just about 3 years ago to the beautiful Valley of the Sun. And we'll have plenty of that coming up here any day now.
Any day now. You know, one thing that I was going to think about is that maybe she doesn't know where Albuquerque is because she kind of looked at me like she didn't know it. It's usually you call it Albuquerque. That's right. You know where that's at now, right? Albuquerque?
Yes, Albuquerque, Turkey.
Yes, got it. So now she knows where you're from.
All right.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, well, I'm a Southern Cal boy by heart, but I spent plenty of time in the Southwest. So,
Gotcha. Absolutely. So, anything? When did you first notice that you had metaphysical abilities?
Well, I got to start here. I knew when I was a kid that I was different from everybody. I was like the black sheep of the family. I wasn't like any of my sibs. And that wasn't like anybody I knew. And I had very few friends because of it. Because frankly, we just vibrated at different energy frequencies. We just weren't connecting at all. I was in my own little world. I still am in my own little world. It's a little bit bigger, this world these days, but it was lonely growing up as a sensitive child, an ultra sensitive, gifted child. I didn't know what was going on back in those days when I was 10, 20 years old. It didn't hit till my 30s, and I started going, well, there's something, I'm feeling something here. I'm sensing things about people, and I knew I was totally open to it, but I had made no connections with any other metaphysical beings at the time. Back in the 60s and 70s, it just wasn't as prominent back then. You didn't find a lot of holistic doctors. There weren't a lot of metaphysical stores, and so there was a disconnect for me. So I knew I was different, and I knew I could feel things, see things, and help people. I just didn't know how that was going to unfold until about 15 years later. Back, as I say, back in my mid to late 30s is when things really started to open for me.
Beautiful. Wow. So, did you see dead people at that time?
Only at the cemetery. No.
Oh, that's
No, I did.
That's
I
good.
was, I felt energies. I did. I felt things about people I couldn't explain that were living, but I didn't really have any conscious connection to passed over loved ones. Although I knew I could, I sensed things and I heard things and I saw things out of the corner of my eye, but I thought that was normal. I thought everybody did, you know.
Right.
But no, I mean, so it was nothing. There was no parade and confetti at that time. That stuff didn't happen until I hit, like I say, like early 40s is when things really. It's like, wow, I'm tuning in and I understand what the communication is all about. And these folks have these energies have something to communicate with us about. So it was an amazing unveiling. It's still an unveiling. It's a process, Rod, as you know, Rod and City.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it continues to this day, and so it's a
Right.
wonderful thing.
Well, also the thing is that people that are naturally gifted, like yourself and that,
And
is
and
we don't
yourself,
realize.
and
Yes,
Cyndee,
thank you.
and
I
Sue.
try to be humble here.
Yeah,
Yes, yes,
we'll fix
Cindy,
that.
Sue. Yes, but being humble is one of those things. But it's also is being natural at what we do. Is we don't see it as prominent as other people do. Okay, they come out and it's like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. I wish I could see what you see and everything else. I still believe that people can see what we can see.
I agree.
But at a certain extent of us being humbled and being the things we're learning is a process too. I mean, there's 2 years ago, things that I didn't know about have come into so much to play, and I've been doing this forever since I was 8 years old.
It just keeps going and keeps going and it keeps changing and evolving, and that's the part of the journey. And we are evolving every day. Things are changing. Our energies are changing. Our abilities are increasing, and it's part of the contract. It's what we agreed to do this time around.
I absolutely believe that.
Absolutely.
So Cyndee, you're listening to this and you hear this conversation going on. That was it a process for you too?
Well, for myself, I knew that I felt like I was probably the black sheep of the family as well. Long story short, I, felt like there was something internally deep inside me that was new, but yet it was intuitive. But even though I didn't even know what that word was, of course, for the longest time growing up. And one day it just, it kept getting stronger, stronger. And then one day it just like hit me and it was like, wow, okay, this is what I've been searching for. And I absolutely love every moment of it. And it's getting stronger every day. And so grateful for it.
And the same thing happened for Sue. Sue, my wife, who is unable to join us this evening, but she had a very similar upbringing to Cyndee, where she and ourselves, where at a very very young age she would live in her own world, her own fairy world. She could see the fairies and spend time with them, and it was a very real world to her. It is a real world. another realm,
Mm-hmm.
and she still delves in that, and develops, keeps progressing in her healing skills and her psychic mediumship and so forth. So it's a process for all of us. It's an amazing enlightenment, and what a journey. We're here. We've agreed to help folks. We've agreed to come out here and make a difference on this planet. And you have to know we're doing it, even when we don't think we're doing it. We are changing people's lives, and this isn't about my ego anyway. It's not about an ego. It's about just that fulfillment, that feeling just fulfilled, that God, I really was able to make a difference here. And that's really what drives, I think, most of us. It's like, wow, this is real. What a great feeling that is.
Do you believe that sometimes we kind of look at ourselves and go, oh my gosh, did I really sign up for this?
Oh God, yeah. It's like, or why did I sign up for this? I mean, not every day is a bowl of cherries. You're going, oh my God, there's some pits in here. So it's really, I signed up for this. Why? I want myself. Why?
Why?
So I hear you.
Well, I just want to say this: once you are, or come to the realization that you're connected, as we all are, but once you realize that awakening within, it's amazing, capital A, what powerful things that you possess and can have and to share and to feel and to experience. And I came up with this little saying recently, and I just love it. Many miracles with exponential meanings, and many MINI. I just love that. I experience so many things almost on a daily basis. Just I never in my wildest dreams thought that my life would be this way, and absolutely grateful. Thank you.
Absolutely. And once you get to that point, as you all know, there's no turning back. You can't go back. You've opened the door, you've walked through it. It's not reversible, and it's not supposed to be. Now,
You don't want to go
no,
back.
but I have to say, in the course of my work over the decades, I've watched individuals who, and I'm sure you have too, who decided, I know I have a gift, but I don't want to use it. I'm afraid of it. I don't believe in it. I have belief systems that I can't wrap my head around this. I'm not supposed to have these, and they turn them off. And there are individuals out there who I call are intuitively stifling themselves. I don't know if you've noticed this, but
Oh, absolutely. No, and what is the biggest thing when these people that intuitively stifle themselves? What is the biggest thing that goes on with that person?
in my experience, they manifest physical and emotional symptoms. You're stifling potent
Absolutely.
energy.
Yep.
If you don't release that, if you don't at least acknowledge spirit and say, not now, or I see this, can we do it later? If you just ignore this, you'll find yourself in a physical and emotional turmoil and creating symptoms of all variety in your life. I've seen it time after time. You're stifling that kind of power.
Exactly. Same for us. Yep. Same as us. That's been the exact same thing, is that they create a physical pain or physical ailment, a dis-ease in their body that doctors can't fix or don't know what to do with the person.
Can't do that.
And it's ridiculous, and I feel sorry for them and that, but it's the idea is that I know what it feels like because I was married for a while that I was very stifled in it, and there was physical ailments that was actually going on with me because I stifled what I really knew I was.
And that goes not just for your spiritual gifts, but for any kind of any energy you're stifling, whether it's a sexual repression or emotional repression, or didn't forgive somebody, or the anger, the resentment, the shame, the guilt, all of those negative emotions, which are all just energy. You stifle energy in any fashion, you will eventually become physically and emotionally unbalanced.
Do you agree with that, Cyndee?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You were giving me some gang signs over there, so I didn't know if you were agreeing with this or
Is she slapping me or what? What's
No, I just totally agree in that. It's very true. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about expression. If you don't express yourself, things are gonna not good things are gonna happen to you eventually. That you're gonna start creating those kinds of symptoms and balances we talked about.
Oh, absolutely. This is some kind of stuff that when they come to our event next Saturday, the Saturday after that, yes, the 29th, this is the kind of things we're going to be talking about and sharing with people and bringing people up and actually kind of talking about what's going on with their bodies and that, because, that's as a medical intuitive and as yourself as a medical intuitive, and that these are the things what we pick up on, aren't
Right?
they?
We feel it all. We feel it, we see it, we sense it, and we know it, and we do our best to decipher it and offer solutions to those who are actually looking for solutions. And by the way, I'll be talking about, the plan is that I'm going to be talking about how to get well naturally. It'll be my secrets, what they call my secrets to natural wellness. Tell you why you're not well and how to get there fast. That's what we'll be talking about at that event, along with our gallery readings. We're going to be doing gallery and medical intuitive readings, pulling people out of the audience and putting them on the spot, really. It'll be fun.
I think I was going to talk about how nice your hair looks. I think that's what my topic. Yeah, that was my topic, I think. That's one thing I come up with. How nice Dr. Emil's hair is.
Really? Well, it's good genes.
It's good jeans. Yes, I did like your jeans the other day.
Thank you.
When we went out.
They were nice jeans.
It's fun. Is that we go out as couples and that, and we did the other day. We traded off some readings and that. And it's just interesting because I'm so used to reading somebody constantly every day, all the time, and that it was really cool to actually get a reading back like that. And it was fun.
It's ditto. After a while, you want to take a little break and let somebody do some of the work. It's like, all right, you tune in.
Well, I love what I do, and I'm constantly on. I'm here 24/7 basically at the center at Beyond Today, so I'm always on, and and that's where what my life is that I am that and totally that, and you're like that too because you're always working too. Since I've known you and you've never been off, I've always known you be on.
We're on. That's part of the thing. It's a trick to learn how to turn it off. Sometimes becomes difficult, if not impossible, to do. Partly because we want to help. Anywhere we go, whether it's the grocery store, the movie theater, the restaurants. There was a time when Susan and I we would go out to restaurants and we would go to the happy hours and go to the bars just to sit at the bar so we could do readings for people. This was back a dozen years or so ago, but it was those cafe clairvoyants. We were out there just reading people, and they love it. Most people. So we had fun doing that. But you're always on. Whether or not you realize that you're picking up everybody's everything just while you're enjoying dinner.
Right, absolutely. Well, I've never been a drinker. For some odd reason, I like the feeling that I have this feeling of being on. And I kind of felt sometimes that in alcohol, that deadens my senses. I don't see things as a rose-colored glasses all the time. And so I enjoy more of the non and seeing everything I can see in that, and I enjoy that. And I know you're kind of like that too, because I've noticed.
Yeah, I do enjoy that, and occasionally I do enjoy an occasional beer, but I do very little of that. But more importantly, I just like to get a sense of the energies in the room, and if you get to the bar and do the happy hour, you get to interact with different folks in a different way than you would when you're sitting at a table. So whenever we go out to a restaurant these days, we really don't go sit at a table. We like to go to the bar and be social. If we can.
Oh, that's why you always make us go sit at the bar.
That's why we're bar hogs, yes.
I get it now, yeah.
We make you go sit at the bar.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, sit here.
I don't know. I just remember saying, we're waiting for reservations and that. You say, go sit at the bar. Okay. And it was a blast. We had so much fun. And that's out of my norm because I don't usually go sit by the bar or in the bar area.
For the long time we didn't either, but it just got to the point where it was just boring sitting down at a little booth and ordering off a menu. We can do that any day. Let's be out of the box here. There's no box.
Exactly. It was funny. I got to tell you a story really quickly about Cyndee and I went to California one time, and Cyndee took me to this place. I don't even remember what the name is. I think Yard or something like that. It's we're probably going to get asked to. We should ask to get sponsorship from the Yard. Anyway, it's some beer restaurant.
Is this down there?
Is
this down near you, off of like 7th and Missouri or something? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, this is
in California. Okay.
Long Beach.
Okay.
I think it was Long Beach.
Gotcha. It was Long Beach. Yeah. Yeah, it was Long Beach. Yeah, absolutely. It was Long Beach, California, actually. and I'm wide open because I am just experiencing life like you won't believe, because I love California, and I get so open when I'm in California. The thundering of the waves and the power and everything else of the waves and the water and everything just unite my senses, and I love it. And so I'm in there and having a great time in that. And Cyndee sits down. She's going to have a glass of wine, and I had to try a beer since we're in this place that serves 52 different beers or something like that on tap. 100. That's what it was, on tap. There's a guy behind me that is so drunk and belligerent, and that I got drunk off
his
him.
energy.
His energy. His energy. I picked up his energy so much that poor Cyndee's trying to get me out of the restaurant. I'm staggering.
That's an amazing empathic ability. You're feeling everything. You're deeply empathic, as we are.
I was. Thank you. But to me, it's like, it was people like, oh my gosh, how much do you have to drink? He's like, well, he didn't even finish his beer. And I am toast. And poor Cyndee's like, I just want to finish my glass of wine here.
I know, right?
I was like, okay, finish that glass of wine. I'll be right here. Don't worry about me.
That's about what it was, too. Yeah. I had to hold his hand and guide him out the door.
That's the usual.
And it took me a little bit to come back, and it's like, wow, California's always done that to me, though. I become so open there. It's just, I want to feel
plus you get the water there, and the water is a great conductor of energy, as we all know, and you're closer to it. Plus, it's a different vibration. Every town has its vibration. Every place has its different vibration. So if you connect with it, it brings you out. It draws you out.
Absolutely.
Well, speaking of the waters, I don't connect so much with the ocean waters over there. It's too poundy.
So you don't like water at all, or you just don't like the West Coast water? You're prejudiced to the West. You're an East Coast water gal.
Well, I'm not. Well, I believe I know which waters I do like. I'm not a big water person. You're right on that. But if I had to choose whether it was ocean or creek or pond, lake, river, what have you, I would certainly choose something like Oak Creek, where there's nature around. You get the trickle of the sound of the water, and but it's very peaceful, but yet it's a little bit noisy and not so crazy. However, speaking ocean-wide, I absolutely love the Atlantic Ocean. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous indigo blue, and it's not harsh. It doesn't come pounding and crashing down on you like the
right.
California or the Western Coast.
I didn't really realize that it was a distinction there, but now you've made that very clear. Thank you.
Yeah, well, think about it. The different waters, you have the lake, it's, quiet, doesn't hardly move, it's real serene. You have the river, the rapids, they can be loud and noisy. You have the ocean that can be, harsh and crazy and salty and loud and noisy. And then you have the creek that has a little bit of noise, but a little bit of quiet and some nature around it. So I prefer that. I'm the kind of girl like the Goldilocks, not too dry, not too sweet, right?
Just right. Absolutely.
That would be like my wine, for example, and other things in my life too. I like things like just right.
So you like Lake Beyond then?
Yeah, Lake Beyond's good because it has the animals or critters and stuff.
Yeah, so
it's not bad.
Lake Beyond's not too bad, but
it's pretty. It's pretty.
We were trying to do it tonight. We just didn't quite make it. But yes, we're going to see it obviously in 2 weeks or less than 2 weeks. Right. But maybe we'll get down there before that time. Right.
Yes,
absolutely. I like to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gorgeous. And I just thought of something. I was speaking is that maybe one of the reasons I love this loud, thunderous ocean and that the power of it and everything, it kind of takes me away because there is a pounding almost in a sense or a peaceness that I see and feel all the time, pounding peacefulness. It's like in the ocean, the pounding of that ocean, the thunder of that ocean, that it's a different feeling for me because we're always in a tranquil feeling and so I like that feeling.
See, I'm not so much in tranquil. I'm always on the move and going.
Right, and so that's
my peace, and I don't get it very often.
True, that's true.
So I think I feel like it could be like based on your personality a little bit too.
Absolutely.
The different types of waters.
You think I'm thunderous?
She likes the creek.
Deuce. That's awesome. So, what do you do in a normal setting for a session with you? Just a normal session.
So how do I work, basically, right?
What does that look like?
I
Hey, that's
don't
my
know.
word.
I know.
What does that look like? Well, what do we do? They come in the office. I get a little bit of background information from these folks. Have them fill out a couple pieces of paper for me to give me an idea of what the symptoms are. What their natural are if they're taking any supplements. Learn a little bit about their history, and a little bit about their nutrition, their lifestyle. Some questions along those lines. Then we sit down and I do a medical intuitive reading with them. Bring them in the office. We go over their paperwork. I make my notes, and then I sit down and read. And energy fields, as you know, as a medical intuitive yourself, Rod, just tuning into the organs and sensing what's going on, where the blocks are. Walk through their diet, a typical diet, walk through their lifestyle miscues, talk about those, and we review their supplements, any prescriptions they may be taking, and then that full initial consultation, which is the way most people start with me. It includes the medical intuitive reading. And of course, I'll go through the diet, nutrition, the usual stuff, the supplements, and then I will also check. I'll also check through kinesiology or muscle testing their organs and glands, and also many of the common infectious processes that are behind many of these symptoms that are occurring, including candida, checking for candida overgrowth, checking for Epstein-Barr virus, and some other microbes as well. So a full look of past, present, future, and anything else that comes in. If I feel anything from spirit, if the spirit has a message, if there's a past over loved one popping in, then that information will be passed through. I oftentimes will pick up on a past life that has meaning to them in their current situation, as I'm sure you do as well, Rod. You do that as well, right? You're able to pick up, of course.
Yes, I do.
So we do that, and it's usually an hour to an hour and a half with me for our first session, and by the time we're done, there is a written protocol written out with recommendations for which natural medicines to do, the doses, how to take them, what nutrition and lifestyle issues should be addressed, and how they should be addressed, and then we go from there.
Wow. So how long did you say the session is?
My initial consultation is about 90 minutes, 60 to 90 minutes, depending on the situation, the complexity of the situation. So it's a wonderful energy exchange, and we do get to the bottom of things. I mean, we get to the cause. It's like, okay, why? It's not covering anything up. We're finding out what the cause is and correcting that underlying cause.
Beautiful. So, do you use energy in your sessions for healing?
I don't. Now, Susan does. Now, I use energy? Of course I do. But I don't make any intentional movements. I don't run my hands over their body or anything like that. But I've had many a client go, I can actually feel you when you're gazing into my body. I can feel your energy, your attention of your energy moving from gland to gland, organ to organ. So that was very cool to hear that, because that's exactly what I'm doing. So, yeah, I'm doing energy work, but it's just not the kind that people think about when they think about traditional energy work.
Right. Well, I felt you scanned me when you scanned me.
Did you? Yeah, cool. So and I'm sure
I usually pick up when people scan me. I'm sorry.
No, I mean that's the way, and it's just a blessing to be able to do that. And I'm sure that I did feel your energy as well. So energy receivers like us, empathic individuals like me, you, Cyndee, Sue, and many others that are out there, we really do feel that energy move. It's not just here's it. I want you to feel, but no, you actually feel the movement, the energy, the healing. It's amazing when it's real. There's nothing like it.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
You said something about lifestyle miscues.
Yeah.
What is a lifestyle miscue?
I got a list. No, I mean, okay, I want to know what your caffeine intake looks like. I want to know if you smoke. I want to know if you've had any mercury amalgams removed. I want to know, what your job is. I want to know what kind of occupation you do to see what the impact of that energy might have on your current condition. So I do, I'm looking at, what's your life look like? It's not just about the body. Yes, I'm going to look at your body, but I want to know what kind of exposures you're being hit with, and I want to know the history of those exposures. I want to know about your surgeries. I want to know about, I may tune into I will often turn into certain relationships, either committed relationships, friends, workplace issues, and so forth. So it's a good look. Those are lifestyle miscues for me. I mean, all of those are in that category, and more. So, just a few examples.
So, sorry. So, if I drink on an average 3 cups of coffee in the morning, what's that look like for
It looks
me?
like adrenal stress for you. So, I mean, well, when I tune in, I do see some cortisol issues. I do see that you do have slightly elevated cortisol levels. I do see that there's a little stress on the kidneys. So there'll be some kidney and adrenal stress in your particular situation. It doesn't mean you can't enjoy some caffeine. It doesn't mean that at all. But for sensitive people like ourselves, those kinds of foodstuffs and those kinds of beverages and those kinds of additives like caffeine, which is not necessarily bad, but in the proper amount and the proper frequency in the right individual, you just have to be careful. You don't want to overdo it because you'll drain your adrenals and you'll have to kick out more cortisol, and eventually you'll become fatigued, and and this happens for women and men, with that cortisol level running high, you'll see that layer of fat just rolling into the gut, and the women and men will go, "Oh, how do I get rid of this tummy?" Well, I can tell you how you got there, and I can tell you what you need to do to help bring that back down to the shape you're looking for. But we don't want to add that layer. And when you keep cortisol levels running high over a period of time, either through stimulation with caffeine, guarana, and other stimulants, or through life stress, etc., then we start building that layer up there. Cortisol-driven, changes in your body shape.
Interesting. I like to talk about the changes of the body shape. Cyndee and I have been talking about shapes, and that I've always had an issue all my life since I was 8 years old, seeing shapes of bodies. They all look the same to me.
Oh, really?
I have an issue with that. I can see when they're a little larger than others, but she talks about pear shape or hourglass shape and things like that. I have an issue with that. I can't really see that.
Yeah, now that's something that Sue gets into. She's into body types, and if I remember her work correctly, there are 4 major body types, and she quickly identify which one of those 4 body types you fall into, and then it can help you decide what kind of foods will feed that properly and to help to keep the body in proper shape and proper energy. So it is important to know what body type it is and what body shape. And when you see, well, we don't want to get into all the body types, but when we see them, we know them. So, and I'm sure you do too. After a while, you've seen the pear shape.
Well, to a certain extent, it's just right. Well, I still don't. I've been trying since Cyndee's been trying to teach me this. I've been trying to see that, but all I see is still the energy of the same. Because it's the aura that I see first as it comes out of a person. I see that first and foremost anything. I feel like I'm invading their privacy when I start looking at the shape.
Well, for me, I look...
Unless they're a client, then it's okay.
Right. Well, for me, it's all about the glands that are affected. It's the different glandular focuses that create the 4 different kinds. There's an adrenal type, there's a thyroidal type, there's a pituitary type body shape, and then there's what else did I miss? The gonadal type. And that's one of Sue's forte. She knows instantly which one that is, and how what glands to back off the stress of, and which ones to feed in order to correct that misalignment in body shape. It is correctable with dietary and dietary and glandular support, and those kinds of miscues can be managed. But it is interesting. There are all kinds of shapes and sizes.
So that's more of the. Absolutely, I've heard Cyndee said. But there's the endocrine system that the body that I work with too, and which is the glandulars, and that's really interesting. That is one of the biggest thing that pops out on somebody is those glands, all that all the way down.
Well, it's all about that. We are hormonal beings, and those hormones run those glands. We're talking about
Yeah.
cortisol. Well, that's a hormone. There's a lot of different chemistry that, and that's what runs us. So keeping the chemistry balanced, keeping the body in full harmony, energetically, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, is crucial, as you
Absolutely.
know.
Balance, balance, balance.
It is about
So,
that.
hey, I want to talk a little bit about your book because Cyndee and I took a test in your book. What was the test
Okay.
called again?
It's a
The
sensitivity test.
test. Yes,
Yes.
yes, yeah. I think Cyndee got a 4
4.
No,
out of
4?
50. I think she got a 4.
No, I was stage 2. You were stage
No.
3.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, there we go. So which stage
I
were
was
you,
stage
Rod?
3.
Yes.
Yeah, let's see where
The
yeah, I'm
unveiling.
looking at it right here. Yep. And where were you, Cyndee?
I was stage 2, the ascent.
There we are. Yes, stage 2. A lot of people are in stage 2 right now. There are many elevated individuals in stage 3, and those are the ones that are really, have almost fully blossomed. We have fully blossomed, but we're not quite done. So that's great. So I'm glad to see that you're in 2 and Rod is in 3.
Yeah, well, I was only like 50.
Right, how many
I was only
points did you-
50 away from being stage 3, so I'm almost there.
Yeah, you're moving your way up. Cool. Very
Well,
nice.
Yeah.
For those who are listening to this, get the book. You Are Sensitive. Take the sensitivity test and find out just how ultra sensitive you are, because you're different than the others. If you're listening to this podcast, you have something to learn from it, and you are different from the others. And if you always thought you were different from the others, you were right.
Absolutely. So where can they find this book? I found it out of the
Well,
back.
you can go
I
to
found it out of
book-
the back of your car.
They fall out of there occasionally. You can get it at booklocker.com. Booklocker.com, my publisher, or you can go to Amazon. It should be on Amazon already, or you can go to any of the bookstores you shop at and ask them to order it in for you. You can also call me at the office. We have them at our office, and shortly, you can just go online and pick them up pretty much anywhere. Changing Hands, I will be doing an event at Changing Hands, a book signing for You Are Sensitive. That's coming up on June 8, Thursday at 7 o'clock, June 8. Look for that, and you'll be able to pick the book up there at Changing Hands Bookstore in
The
Tempe.
day after my birthday.
Hey, that's right.
Help me
Well,
with
happy
Gemini.
BD.
So, and you can also bring your books here at Beyond Today. We have a cute little gift shop if you want.
Well,
Sure. We'll put some books
Also,
in
if you
there.
come to the event, that I'm sure Dr. Emil will have books here for you to buy. And that if you have, will you have your books here?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. We have them. They're all here. So I'll bring some down and we'll talk. Hey, we should talk about the event a little bit. Let's talk more about what this is
What-
going to be
what
about. Yeah. That's
Well,
cute.
really, no, I thought maybe if we talked about your book, we'd talk about my book, but that's okay. We
Well, let's talk about your book. Now, let's hear all about Rod's book. Rod,
it's
what's
not
the name
all
of your
about
book?
me anymore. Did you read my book?
No, I didn't get a
You know-
book.
Oh my gosh, that's right. You're supposed to get one tonight.
You
Just
didn't
tonight.
bring. You were going to give me
Yeah.
a book. Yep. There
Yes,
you go.
It's the 7-year cycle. It's called the 7-year cycle with the chakras. Chakras, the 7-year cycle. And it talks about
Cool.
each one of our chakras was developed every 7 years. So from 0 to 7, our base chakra was developed. And from 7 to 14, our second chakra was developed. From 14 to 21 was our third, and so on, and so on, and so on. And it gives you kind of an insight of what you were going through, because understand that from 0 to 7 years old, we had no control over anything.
Which is kind of a weird thing to think about.
Well, we
really.
didn't. I mean, and if that's our base chakra being developed at that age, we had no control. So we base our base chakra off of what we learned from 0 to 7 years old, and we had no control over it.
That is an amazing revelation.
Right? And the revelation is that once we get to the crown chakra and that, we start all over.
I think it should be opposite.
So let's see. So at age 50, we're starting again?
Yes, age 50, we start all over again. And Cyndee believes that we should be opposite. She thinks that we
Well,
should start.
Think about it. Babies and young people, short people, cute little people, they're very intuitive until they're corrupted, right? So really they are in their crown chakra.
Until they're corrupted. Yeah. Hey, these most of us gifted ones, we come in fully unveiled. Many of them come in fully unveiled at birth.
Absolutely.
We already know it. We know it all
So
already.
I said you're already in your crown chakra.
Well, exactly. Well,
Baby,
you're
right
absolutely correct to that. At birth, we're pretty well intuitive. We're set in that. But society and physical, and which is interesting. We have a psychotherapist here and a social worker here, and we're discussing between nature and nurture today. And that was part of it, is that how much control does nature and nurture in raising us? How much control is there? And it's really interesting is that from 0 to 7, that it's all nurture. It's not nature, because we're very well protected by our parents, and the parents are the ones that are nurturing us. If there's no nurture in that, and it becomes a more of an abusive situation that you're growing up on, you instantly and intuitively, your intuitiveness comes out. Abused people seem to have a higher rate of younger opening of their intuitive abilities, because they have to be intuitive so that they know when the next beating's coming or whatever else. And that they have to know for their own protective self.
And the crazy thing is, in that particular situation, in my experience and my understanding, is these individuals, these sensitive children from birth, are really working to, in a way, protect those who are actually hurting them. They want to protect the parental unit. They don't know of good and bad. They just know that they're here to heal. And there are people who will, young people, who will take on the parental role from early ages, because the parental themselves is not developed enough to do that. And those are the ones, the abusive parents, who don't understand they have a gifted child, and this can become a real big issue. And I've seen it time and time again, where the sensitive child or the gifted child really becomes the parent at a very young age, teaching the parental unit what's really going on. It's an amazing thing that I've observed over the years.
Oh, that's absolutely right. It's like I have clients here that come in that talk about their abuse, and that they're very intuitive themselves, and they're so intuitive, and they come down to the fact is that understanding is that they hurt their parents' feelings somehow. They hurt their parents, and they're the reasons why they're being abused.
Yep.
And they turn that all around, is that they take on that responsibility themselves more than anybody.
That is correct.
Yep.
And that's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure on a young being who's not really in many cases, not physically fully developed, maybe spiritually fully developed, but not knowing how to, process all of those gifts. It's a lot of pressure. It's, and I had that kind of upbringing. My parents had been through horrible trials in their growing up, and I knew it, and I took all that on. And if you read the book, the story's in there, but I was trying to save them. They knew nothing about a sensitive child. They knew nothing. They knew they wanted to love and care for their child best they could. There were 4 of us. I was the oldest. I am the oldest. So, they did their best. But in reality, I, in many ways, and maybe really me, and maybe one other sibling, raised my parents. It was a very interesting set of circumstances. And I know that's not uncommon. I've seen this happen time and time again.
And the outcome usually is a divorced parents in that, because in
today's days. Back then, nobody got divorced. But.
Oh no, yeah, in today's but you're absolutely right. Is that it's just interesting. So let's move on, because let's not talk about abuse anymore. Let's talk about
let's talk about joy, love, and bliss.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Let's talk about our event.
The event. Hey, for the best $45 you'll ever spend, come on down. Rod and I, Cyndee, you're going to be part of this too, right? And Cyndee and Sue, it's just you and I on this one, right?
Yeah, well, they're going to be there.
They'll be there. They're going to be there. But you and I, we're going to do a little teaching. We're going to do a little healing. We're going to do some gallery readings throughout the afternoon. And if you show up, there's a really good, and you get on board, there's a really good chance you're going to get a healing from Rod, a healing from me, a reading from Rod, and a reading from me. It's going to be a great day of energy and revelation. So,
and you're going to have Cyndee and Sue in the crowd there giving healings too. They can't help it.
Absolutely.
Just to be there around them. That's a healing. Well, so a little bit about a gallery reading that is, if you, what we do is we like to bring people up to the front, and we talk to them. We tell them what's going on. You get a healing, and you'll get some beautiful. Hang on, Cyndee's trying to get my attention for some reason.
Sorry, it just seems a little loud.
Oh, sorry. I'm getting excited.
You are getting excited. It's wonderful.
So anyway, we bring up these people up to the in front, and we'll scan them. We'll kind of go through a reading, and we'll teach them something about what they're doing anyway and what's going on with their body and that. Right. And during the time is that the healing is going to happen. And I've told my clients this. When they say I can feel you scanning me, which I love, is that's part of healing right there. Because as soon as we see something, we know something's there, and that the healing starts. It's being aware of it.
That's right. I love it. That's
absolutely.
What it's all about.
We're gonna do a little talk at first, and then we're gonna get to tell each other, kind of tell everybody who we are, and teach them a little something, right?
Absolutely. We're going to talk about my secrets to natural wellness, which is not really a secret. I'm going to tell you why you're not feeling well, and how to get there fast. And that's what we're going to be talking about.
And I'm going to be talking about your hair, right? No.
You're going to be talking about my hair. That should take just about 20 seconds or so. You get some photo ops with it.
We'll get some free time in that. No, it's really interesting. You'll find this fascinating. Is that I had my old topic, what I wanted to talk about, and I wanted to talk about principles of life and that, and I got a big no on that the other day. I was working on a client, and then all of a sudden it came through. It was like, boom, a big no. That's not what we're talking. That's not what you're talking about. And so I was like, okay, what am I talking about? I started asking myself and started wondering that, and I was told it will be revealed to me.
Well, let's go with that.
So I'm not sure what that means.
Got to go with that.
So I'm wondering if it means that is because how I teach the class as a intuitive class. So I pull things from the class to teach them. So I'm wondering if there's somebody that's really specifically needs something taught to them, and that's what I'm being waited for.
Well, I'm sure the right words will come out at the right time, just the way they're intended. So it'll all be good.
Absolutely.
It'll all be good. We'll have fun. We're going to have some fun. The idea is we're going to have fun, and healings, revelations. It's a great place to be. Now, it's April 29th, a Saturday from 1 to 4. It's $45. We can't guarantee readings and healings, but if the crowd size is appropriate, there's a good chance everybody will get something from us. We'll do our darndest to make that happen.
Hey, you want to tell everybody how they can get a hold of you for one of your own readings and that at your office or over the phone or somewhere or something? You want to tell them how they can do that?
Sure, yeah, we do work. Thank you. We do work worldwide, both Susan and I, Susan with her energy work and her psychic mediumship, and myself with my medical intuition, medical mediumship, and natural medicine. You can reach us at the offices of World Wellness Center, and our website, where all the contact information is www.healingwizards, that's plural, healingwizards.com, and you can find out all the information you need about our services, how to reach us, and so forth. But the phone number of the office here locally is 480-998-1588, 480-998-1588, and we can get your questions answered and help you in any way you need to be helped.
Beautiful. You have any more questions, Cyndee? We have like 3 minutes left. Any questions left that you wanted to ask Dr. Emil before we go?
Oh, Cyndee, you have questions for me, don't you?
Wow. And not at this moment. I think I'm good. I'm excited for you guys' thing on Saturday. I might have to chime in and share a word or two. You never know, because I got a big mouth sometimes, and I might want to just share an intuitive thought, an inspiration for someone.
Well, absolutely. You and Susan can pipe up whenever you need to.
Well, you guys are like our muses for us, so it's good. Yeah.
Hey, Rod, tell them how to reach you. How do folks reach you? Well, they already know.
Yeah, but I can tell them again. It's like thank you for thinking of me. My partner sometimes doesn't do that.
Of course.
I'm joking.
We always think.
Of course, we're at Beyond Today, Cyndee and I are, but I'll let Cyndee talk to that. You can reach me at 602-374-4926. That's 602-374-4926. Also by email, you can go on to our website at beyond2day.com. That's beyond2day.com. And you can look at our phone numbers and our emails and everything else there. It also has a little bit. We have like over 22 practitioners here at Beyond Today, and then we have some wonderful things that go on here constantly. It's an
amazing.
Huge place that sits on a peninsula of water.
Awesome.
Water surrounds every one of the rooms we have. Thank you, dear. And except for a classroom, which is right in the center of that.
Classroom is in the heart of the place here. I do energy work infused with color. So if you like color, love color, or not sure about color, or don't know that you see color, you ought to come in and make an appointment and experience that. It's a beautiful thing, especially when a lot of people say, I don't see colors, and then they have a session done and they're seeing all kinds of beautiful colors. And told our life is all about colors. It's around us 24/7. So, again, you can call that 602 number that Rod mentioned and make an appointment with me and have some energy work with some color infused in it. It's beautiful. Thank you.
The number again, 602-374-4926. What? Go ahead. Actually, I was just going to say that.
And Rod, how do they go? How do people go about purchasing tickets for our event?
For events, if they'd like to get tickets, they can go on to our website at beyond2day.com, the beyond, the number 2day.com. And you can look up under our calendar of events, and you can go through there and you can purchase your ticket right through there. It'll send you to Eventbrite, and you'll get a ticket. You can print it out and bring it that day. There's still some seats left, so seating is limited here. And so there's a few seats left, but you can also find us on Facebook, Healing in Motion with Dr. Emil and Rod. Healing in Motion is what we call in the event, and you can just look that up also on Facebook if you need to. Look it up on our website, or you can go to Eventbrite and look it up. We're also up on Meetup, and we're all over the place in that. Now, if you need help with that, you can call us here at Beyond Today at what a beautiful, beautiful day it is. And this is the 29th is just going to be so much fun. We're going to have a blast. The thing is that Cyndee and I will be coming back from California because we'll be doing a little show in California. And then when we get back from California show,
we'll have a good time.
Imagine how pumped up we're going to be, with the energy and everything else. Then when we get back here, and that's what a show this is going to be. And I'm really excited about it. Absolutely.
Yep, we're going to have a good time. Looking forward to it. It's going to be a blast. We hope to see you all out there. Those of you who are tuning in, make sure you get out and check us out.
You
April 29th,
Thank you.
1 to 4, Saturday.
It's going to be a blast.
And we look forward to seeing you. I know Rod, Susan, and Cyndee looking forward to seeing you there.
This thing that if I'd like to sponsor any of our podcasts, we have podcasts coming out mostly once a week.
Right.
And then
thanks for having me on the program today, guys.
602 number, 602-374-4926. Or look us up on the website and find out our email. And we'd love to have you do some beautiful sponsorship here and we've had sponsorships that we'd love to share with you and Cyndee will be doing a podcast coming up here really soon. And do you want to is it a teaser? You want to kind of share a little bit what the podcast is?
Wow, thanks for bringing it up and mentioning it. I was thinking the same thing about mentioning something about it. I believe I'd like to call the teaser She's on her way or possibly even actually here. Podcast is going to be something very beautiful, wonderful. I believe informative, and it's going to be a little bit of a shocker, but yet very much needed to be expressed. So, yeah, she's on her way if she's not here already. I think she's kind of here already.
Oh, I'm kind of curious of who you're talking about.
I know.
This is going to be fun. Yes, you're going to do like a series of it, right? And
Certainly hoping so. Absolutely.
It
Got a
has
few
something to do
people.
with feminine empowerment too, and everything else in the right proper way, or no? Okay,
Well,
don't want to give it away. Okay,
Yeah. Shh.
all right, all right. Dr. Emil, give Big Sue a big hug from us, and tell her we miss her and love her and everything else, and that we'll be signing off. And that this is Rod.
It's been a pleasure, guys.
Yep, absolutely. Day,
Will
then.
do.
Love all. Bye bye.
All right. Good. Thanks for having me on the program. Good night, all.